Assalamu alaikum. Hi everybody and welcome to IELTS with Shaiban. After we have seen in previous episodes about writing task 1 and the techniques needed for task 1, I decided to make today a class and I call it like we say a stage before continuing with other techniques for reading, writing, task 2 and listening and of course speaking. Now I want to focus on linguistic issues, I mean vocabulary and grammar. So in this episode, I'm going to show you the techniques, how to self-study and how to develop yourselves by self-access learning. With the techniques, I'm going to show you in a minute how to develop your language, your grammar effectively in a very short time to achieve your goals. I wish you all the best and good luck. Today we are going to talk about the importance of, we say, language usage in IELTS. I mean by language usage is the grammar and vocabulary. As you can see in front of you here, we have IELTS speaking band descriptors, and of course each one of you should have this version from the internet. And I want you to look at the criteria of grammatical range, accuracy, and lexical resource, which means vocabulary. Also here, for task 1 band descriptors, again we have the criteria of the task 1 or the needed for achieving your goals. Again, we have two important criteria, which is the lexical resource and the grammatical range and accuracy, as you can see. And again, as I say, you have to download these versions from the internet to fulfill the requirements of the exam. I mean by this, you have to know your level exactly and what do you want to achieve your scores and precise. Also, we have another version which is for task 2 writing, band descriptors, public version. And again, we have the same two criteria in here. We have lexical resource, means the vocabulary, and the grammatical range and accuracy. As you can see from the previous, band descriptors or public band descriptors, the language, which means vocabulary and grammar, are needed and highly needed to achieve your band score, especially for people who are looking for band 7 and more. To start with, I have here a very good grammar book, which I highly recommend, because this book is not only focuses on the grammar issues, but it gives also focus on the language itself or language in use, and that's the name of the book, Advanced Grammar in Use. And this is a Cambridge book, of course, and you can download this again from the internet. But the topics here, which I recommend, they come in order. First thing first, as you can see here, we have tenses. In tenses, or the tenses here, the tenses, they cover actually all the tenses needed for IELTS exam. I mean the tenses needed for IELTS exam, especially task 1. Of course, task 1, the focus is very important, or the students should focus on tenses, because the graphs or the pie charts, the bar charts, they talk about events in the past, present, and future. And accuracy here is really needed, especially using tenses. So I have here from Unit 1 to Unit 10. Also, a very important, we say, grammatical, we say, unit, which is talking about the future. In this way, or in this part, students should know how to talk about the future for task 1, to describe the changes or the expected changes that might or could or will happen in the future. Also, for speaking, when the exam asks about future events, of course, so the students should be able to talk about these issues very accurately. Other topics which I think they are really important, of course, we have here the articles, because most of Arab learners, they have a problem with the usage of the articles, of course, a, and the. And of course, we have the terminus. But a very important part of this issue is here, is the usage of relative clauses, and of course with participles. Why relative clauses and why participles in particular? Because these two topics actually they represent a variety of, we say, complex structures and advanced English. So again, you have to look at these chapters in turn. Now, how to study? I recommend, again, the chapters about, position of adverbs, and also talking about a very important aspect of, we say, English, which is talking about, let's say, contrasts, as in chapter 98, and of course conditionals, if conditionals, and of course they are part of the advanced varieties of English. Finally, there are, for upper advanced students who are keen on having a very advanced, or very excellent marks in English or in IELTS, they can have a look on these two topics, chapter 119 and 20, which they are talking about inversion, and it is a case of English where the focus of language is or when the speaker focuses on, adverbs and certain issues of the language. How to study grammar? Of course, most of the students, or all students around the world, they go to English classes and they attend long hours of grammar classes, and they do loads and loads of exercises. I recommend two things in this aspect. As I have said previously, this book is online, and you can download the book and you follow the chapters, and you can have, for example, chapter 14 here from this book, Grammar in Use, or Advanced Grammar in Use, Cambridge Advanced Grammar in Use. We have here Unit 14. So you can just have a look at the grammar rules here for 10 to 20 minutes. I highly recommend that the grammar study should not exceed 30 minutes. Why is this? Because when you study grammar, you are not studying language, you are studying rules, and this is not real. The real thing is language, and I'll talk about that in a minute. After the student here, for example, studies the rules A here, and some examples about future tenses, he or she can move to the exercises. Then you have here some exercises just to practice the grammar rules you have already studied. Then you can go and check your final or your results with the keys that come with this book. I mean, you can go to this page, and then you can see, as you can see, it's Unit 14. You can have all the model answers in front of you, and that helps. Now, for real achievement in grammar, I recommend the technique which I called 20 plus 40 or 30 plus 40. So what do I mean by 20 plus 40 or 30 plus 40? I mean 20 minutes for grammar and 40 minutes for listening and reading, or 30 minutes for grammar and again another 40 minutes for, we say, listening and reading. Now, what to listen and what to read? I highly recommend the series of we say BBC 6-Minute English. It's an online program. It's available, and it's not really, difficult to have. So you can have the access, you can download them. The nice thing about these programs, they talk about a topic. And this topic, for example, today, it's about animal species and the dangers of extinction. So, of course, we have here a topic, and this topic, people talk about it for 6 minutes in precise. And why 6 minutes? Because listening depends on each section in listening consists of around 6 to 7 minutes. So that helps you later in the listening part when we come to talk about listening, inshallah. And of course, helps you to practice all the grammar rules you have studied previously. So if I say 20 minutes of grammar study, so you study some rules and then you do some exercises. When you come here, you listen to real people talking about issues. So all the grammar or the grammar rules, they will be, mixed and we say converged in a very nice way with a real usage of speakers, so the student can acquire the language and can learn the rules easily. Of course, I call this 20 plus 40 minutes, so the listening is the most important part actually. These programs come with an audio and you will listen to it in a minute.
6-Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, I'm Rob. Welcome to 6-Minute English. I'm joined today by Feifei.
Hi there, Rob.
Hi, Feifei. Today we're discussing the issue of the illegal trade in wildlife, and we'll be looking at some of the words and phrases associated with this sad and increasing activity. I think we all know that there are many rare species of animals that are being illegally hunted to make money, and 200 governments have been meeting in Bangkok.
Okay, as you can see here, we have different speakers, and they talk about the issues of animals and hunting animals or legal issues concerning animals. Of course, at the end of this 6-minute English, we have something like, we say, a summary. So in this summary, you can have vocabulary and definition, and you can see a list of wonderful words which they talk about the topic of animals. If you have the ability to learn some of these, this will really help you in both issues, speaking and definitely writing. So, but most importantly in use. So not only to know the meaning, but how to use them. Again, I'm repeating the technique 20 plus 40 or 30 plus 40, which you have to do while you are preparing for the IELTS exam, because without vocabulary, without grammar, you cannot achieve your target goals, because that needs specific type of vocabulary, especially for bands 6 and more, and of course a variety of complex structures which they are needed for band 6 and more too. Now we have I'm going to move to another topic here, the topic of how to study vocabulary. Again, as you can see in front of you, it is another book of Cambridge University, and this book is available online, and you can have a copy or download a copy from the internet. And again, why this book? Because this book actually gives a very, a nice list of words or vocabulary which are mainly based on topics. The topics I highly recommend here, they are in front of you, and for Arab learners in particular, Arab learners or Arab students, they have, problem with describing people, appearance and personality, and they have little issues or some difficulties describing everyday problems or global problems. Also, the topic which always is almost a nightmare for students is to talk about art and talking about politics, press and media, and of course crime. So these are the the major topics students need to focus on. But the idea is all the topics in this book are very nice or very well arranged, and you can have a look on them. And again, you can make, I recommend, and I highly recommend making, a mini dictionary. I mean by mini dictionary, for example, when you go to the topic of chapter 42 in here, for example, which is talking about arts, you can select some vocabulary from this chapter and you write it in your mini dictionary to remember them, to use them. For example, if you have a topic in speaking or if you have a topic concerning arts and writing, so you have your vocab and some nice synonyms and of course collocations and of course some less common vocabulary concerning arts. Also, I highly recommend in the same book we say fixed expressions and in particular idioms. Idioms help you to express your ideas more thoroughly or more clearly, and it's like a shortcut instead of talking too much about a point or viewing a point of view or using or expressing an essay or defending or supporting a point in your writing. So they can really help you, and of course they are a sign of advanced level of English. So I recommend these 10 chapters in here so you can have a look. And of course we don't have we don't have to learn all of them. Just pick some and add them to your mini dictionary, which I told you about previously. So how to study again? We say vocabulary. As I said previously concerning grammar, again, it's the technique of, let's say, 30 plus 40, or 20 plus 40, which is you study you open the book or the PDF and you just look at the words, you pick up some of your words, then you come to the series of BBC English, which is 6-Minute English, and then you can download the variety of topics. There are hundreds of them, and each topic comes with a PDF and an audio file, so you can listen and read at the same time. So that develops your language acquisition through listening and language development through reading. And again, you will see the language or the vocabulary you have studied in context, and this is extremely important. At the end, I want to say that language is not, to study language is not just to, for example, to read books or to download materials. I always recommend that having a real context of real English, and by this I mean you can either have, for example, speaking groups via the internet, or you can, for example, watch TV, and I highly recommend news, or you can say the documentaries, but the listening thing is the most important, element in your language development. You have to listen every day for 20 to 40 minutes minimum, and of course after 4 weeks of continuous listening, your brain is going to acquire, the rhythm, the music of the language, the ups and downs, the word stress, the sentence stress, and these are highly, complicated issues, and only our brains can handle these complicated issues. So don't bother yourself looking for the details on why this is happening. Just expose yourself to the language. Just listen, and this listening will develop your pronunciation, because as you know, you have 2 ears, so we have 2 inputs, then 1 output, which is your mouth. So you have 2 inputs actually and 1 input, and this can help you to develop your language competence and of course language usage. I highly recommend this, and for further questions or inquiries, you can go to the page, our page, of course, IELTS with Shaiban, Facebook, and we are ready to answer your questions. And if you have any questions or requirements, I'll be very happy to answer you soon. Thank you for being with me, and this is IELTS with Shaiban. I wish you all the best. Thank you. As we have seen previously, IELTS is not only a technical exam, but also needs some requirements to achieve your goals. And one of the major and most important requirement is language. As you can see, or as you have seen in the previous video, that you can achieve this, and by this you will handle one of the most important secrets and tasks, solving problems in this issue. I mean, you can do it, and you can develop, and you can achieve. I wish you all the best with IELTS with Shaiban, and see you soon in next episodes. مع السلامة.